Hi, and welcome to the 16th episode of Chicks and Sticks, Cigars in the Silver Screen. We have a great show tonight. My guest is Cody from, well, I'm just going to show you because it's beautiful. Let's see. Start over here. Medrano Cigars. Okay. Was not able to join us last week, so we have him this week. But we will talk about how I smoked one of his cigars last week and how much I loved it. So it's going to be lots of fun. So stay tuned and let's get started. Maybe. Hi, and welcome back. I am going to bring in Cody here so we can get smoking.
Hello. There you are. Can't wait to get this cigar lit. So this is Cody from Medrano Cigars. And so totally new cigar to me. I had not heard of you, so I can't remember. Did I reach out to you?
I might have reached out to you
and say, hey, okay.
I'm sending you some sticks.
Yeah, and you sent me a little sampler.
Yeah, I understand. I am a small fry in this big pond. So.
Well, there's lots of small fries, and even the big guys have to start out as a small fry, right?
Hey,
I mean, what the heck?
I've heard some stories, Yeah.
So let's talk about. I'm going to get the turn on my. Hi, Kyle. Hi, Frankie. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'm going to get my cigar lit. It's kind of windy, but I'm going to try to light it with a match because I would prefer that. So you sent me a sample, like a sampler pack. And last week I smoked the 5-4, right? 5-4, yeah. Because there's a 45, a 5-4. So this week I'm smoking the Lancero. You mean which 5-4 did I have?
Right.
Wow.
I have a Toro and a Torpedo.
I'm not 100% remembering. I want to say that it was a Torpedo. I can't say that for sure. Oh, that lit right up. Oh, this is going to be good too. Okay, so the 5-4, and is that what you're smoking?
Correct, yes.
So I smoked that last week, and it was so dang good. I was telling Cody that it's kind of one of those cigars, like you smoke cigars sometimes, and you're like, hey, that's good, or it's okay. I may or may not smoke it again, and then every once in a while you smoke a cigar, and it's just like, bang. And that's what the 5-4 was. So delicious, so smooth.
And a bit deceiving because people think it's strong and it's not.
I was expecting something stronger. But that being said, I think I said I felt like it was a medium to me,
Right.
a medium smoke.
It is.
But that being said, it's not like it's lacking flavor. To me, it had a lot of flavor notes. The smoke, I mean, the smoke is crazy, and the draw, super easy draw, lots of smoke, which is what is number one important to me in a cigar, really, even more than flavor. It's if the draw is not good and it doesn't have a smoke, I don't care what it tastes like. I'm not going to like it. Just picky that way. So I loved it. It was so good. Okay, this is the same thing. I mean, look at the smoke. Oh my God. God, this almost has like, it's almost like I thought I got clove. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Some have gotten some fruity notes to that. So I might get some fruity notes too.
Okay, I might. Not yet. It's real smooth right now. Okay, let's talk about, because I want to ask about draw and all that. Talk about how in the world you get the best draw in a cigar I think I've ever had.
So we have the people rolling my cigars are generational Cubans out here in Florida, southwest Florida, out of Fort Myers.
Okay.
They're third generation rollers, and so needless to say, they've been doing it for a while now.
Right.
And I chose them to put together this blend for me. I've tried to, when small guys go out to different factories and different places to try, and I had this blend in mind, the 5-4.
Okay.
But I couldn't get it right. I had I went to DR, I went to a couple of different places, and it just wasn't right. So
okay.
This personally didn't taste the way I wanted it to taste. So I just happened to stumble across this family out of Fort Myers, these rollers, and they were manufacturers. And I was like, you know what? Can you put this together for me? And I told them exactly what I wanted, and they knocked it out of the park the first try. So I was like, oh, this is exactly what I want. Like this is what I want every time. So don't change it. This is what I want every time.
Right.
And we evolved from there. So we started off with the 5-4, the Toro, and the Torpedo, and then I told them exactly what I wanted for the Lancero, and then we, it just evolved from there. So that these guys, I've been sticking with these guys for the quality of work that they do.
Yeah.
So their quality shows for itself. It's just perfect for me,
Yeah.
Perfect for me. So this is exactly what I want. Everything that I want in this cigar, the look, the taste. I wanted the Maduro wrapper, but I didn't want it to be too strong. I'm not a full body cigar smoker.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So
are most of your cigars medium bodied, or would you say
most of them are medium bodied? So what I did was the Connecticut one I had, the Gordon that you smoked in the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
That one was a little bit more full. It was a little bit more full. So I kind of switched it up a little bit, and everybody thinks the Connecticut wrapper is a little lighter. So I just changed it up a little bit. So So I don't have a full body one yet.
Okay.
I eventually have to get one for those who want it. But
this one looks like it could be a little firecracker.
That was good, but it's not that bad. It's actually similar blend to what you have in your hand now. Oh no, the cigar you had yesterday. Yeah, the Gordito. Yep. Yeah, that one's been very popular actually. Since we made that one. So, and those are really good sticks when you're on. We don't have a lot of time, lunch breaks or whatever. But really good sticks.
Yeah, I'm totally digging these like little cigars, but I also like them to be a larger ring gauge. So I like that it's short but larger ring gauge. But it's really nice when you just don't have a ton of time and you just want to have a quick smoke. But I think that's too. I smoked the Connecticut, and so then when I smoked the 5.4, I expected it to be stronger, probably based on that Connecticut.
Right.
And no, that cigar, like seriously, when we get done with the show, I need to order some more. It was so good. It was so good. Probably in the last 2 months, I had a couple cigars that blew my socks off, and that was one of them.
I've gotten a good response with the 5, especially with the 5.4.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pleasant smoke. You know, you go with certain liquors and food and coffee, especially with coffee. You know,
and it was my girlfriend was around when I was doing the show and when I was smoking, and she came out of the house onto the patio because I was by the pool, and she said, "Oh my God, that cigar smells so good." And I was like, "Well, you should taste it because it tastes as good as it smells." So, I mean, I think that's really nice too. It smelled good, and when you sent me the cigars, they're just so beautiful. They're definitely a premium quality cigar. They're beautifully made. So what happened where you just said, I want to start making cigars? How?
So I've been smoking. Well, my backstory is I originally from New York.
Okay.
Born and raised in New York. Moved to Connecticut to raise my daughter, and I was in a motorcycle club up there, and I was president of the club or whatever. And I needed to change, so I picked up smoking as of kind of like to calm me down from going to the bike parties and everything else like associated with MC life, right? So I was like, let me just chill and just sit down and smoke. So I've been smoking for quite some time, and moved to Florida. So my daughter graduated high school and moved to Florida for college.
Okay.
My only child. So naturally, I followed. I came down to Florida.
Naturally, I followed.
Hey,
I don't think that is natural, but I followed my
to
kids.
me it is. To me it is. Hey, to me it is. That's Daddy's little girl, my only child. So.
Right. I followed my kid down here to California to school too. Well, not really, but that's basically how it looks. So yeah, I get it. I love it.
Yeah. So I came down, and then still smoking, going around, and every time I go to cigar lounges or wherever I go, I like to go different places and smoke different cigars, and you always get like that one cigar that you really, really like. And for me, I really liked the Superfly for some reason.
I love that too.
I love that cigar. Like I was like, this is I love the cigar, and I'm tired of spending X amount of money trying some cigars, and then I didn't like it. And I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I would like, now that I'm in Florida, plus you get expired with the weather and other people, doing their own thing. So I was like, you know what? Let me try this. So I did. And I got a good support system down here in Florida because my cousin lives down here and they have a big marketing team and all types of stuff. So he was like,
that's great.
So he's like, I got your back. So I was like, all right, fine. So that's what we did. We started doing it. And, it took me a little while to get the right people and the right blend and everything else. But once I did that, it happened somewhat quickly, I guess you want. Because I speak to some people and they're like, how long you been in business? I'm like, oh, only like 8-9 months. They're like, hey, really? That's it? I'm like, yeah. They're like, man, you've been out there for a short amount of time. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I've been trying to put in the work. I've been reaching out to people. I've been handing out cigars. I understand that no one knows me. So why would anyone pick up a Medrano cigar when they don't know who I am? You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I understand that. I understand the concept that no one's just going to pick up my cigar just because I said they should. They're not going to take my word.
Well, they will if I tell them to. Because
So that's how it was. I just started it, and it was like this is what I love smoking. I love the taste. So I was like, I don't have to buy anything else. And believe it or not, I've been really just on my own stuff, like even going to lounges. I mean, out of respect for the lounge, I always buy a stick just to buy a stick, But I end up always smoking my cigar, So this is what I like. I wanted something that I can sit back and say, okay, I can smoke this every day,
Yeah. And
So,
that's kind of a nice way. I mean, you can kind of hand your cigar out, right? I mean, if you're
right.
in a lounge, I think that's okay etiquette. If you buy a cigar
I
from
do.
him, and
I do. I
um,
mean, depending on what lounge I'm at, I don't do
okay,
it at every lounge. I'm one lounge that I particularly, I frequent a lot is down in Weston. I don't know in Florida near, but what in Weston is a cigar smoke on the water. I'm always there. So every time I go there, I go with my case and a bunch of cigars. I
yeah,
buy a cigar and I pass out cigars. So
yeah,
it works out. It works out. You meet a bunch of cool people. You
yeah.
know. So
So
it works out.
I know that it can be kind of expensive. I mean,
It is.
I'm guessing, but have you thought about um, going, like, being a part of the next show for boutique cigars in Vegas is DPE coming up?
Yeah, I seen that and I was looking at it and it is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It is expensive. It is expensive. So one of my friends is we become really close friends as recent is I don't know if you've ever heard of Sean Christian from Sean Christian and others. He does
No.
like cigar cases.
Oh, okay.
So him and I have been gotten close as of recent and he was telling me about the whole Vegas. He did the Vegas show one time. And we briefly spoke about maybe doing a booth together or whatever. And then we started breaking down because, like I said, I'm new to the whole thing. So I'm like,
Right.
then I started really digging into it. I'm like, man, like it's really expensive, like to do it. So my plan is to ride this year out, and then maybe by the end of next year,
Okay.
be where I need to be to do it right. Because I don't want to half-ass. Because I seen some of the videos from the people who done it. And it's amazing that they can do it, and kudos to them that they can actually be there. But I just don't want. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just do it. Just hey, look at me, I'm here, and then it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Especially me. This is the reason why I did my band the way it is. So if you look at my bands, it's not a cheap printed on a printer band. I didn't want to do that.
No, it is not.
So.
Nope, it's a beautiful.
I put some time, thought, and money into my band, so I'm very proud of what I've done. And as far as putting stuff together, so it looks classy and it looks well thought out, and there's some quality to it.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to, like I said, there's some cigars out there, and there's nothing wrong with it. Cigars could be great. It's just I just didn't want to, especially me unknown. I didn't want to print it on look like it printed out of a printer and slap it on a cigar.
I've seen those, and immediately, right? Which
exactly.
It's expensive, but no, this is beautiful. And how did you? So I wanted to ask, since we're talking about that, I wanted to ask you, how'd you come up with the name and that logo of the really cool knight armor?
So Medrano is my last name.
Oh, okay.
That is my last name.
Okay.
The knight. My original concept was the Medrano crest, the family crest. So we tried it a couple of times, and I didn't like the way it came out. So we kept the knight. Because it was supposed to be like a knight and shield or whatever. So we kept the knight.
Super cool.
And then if you look closely on the top left hand, is a PM.
Yes.
Yeah. So the PM is like a homage to my dad. The PM is my father's initials.
Okay.
PM is my dad. So the backstory on the band for those who don't know. I have it on the site as well. But I pretty much dedicated, especially the 5.4, to my dad. That's my father was killed in 2002 in New York. So the PM is obviously to my father's name was Pedro. So Pedro Medrano, PM. Now the 5.4, my father used to be a livery, almost like a Uber, but back then when there was illegal cab services in New York City.
Yeah.
So he did that for almost 30 years,
Okay.
And he knew everyone in Harlem, he knew everyone in the Bronx and whatever, New York City. He was all up and down. And one day he picked up 3 young kids and they killed them in his car. So my father's car number or cab number was 5.4. So that's why I have the 5.4 on my footpad. So I dedicated that 5.4, my first cigar, my first to the company, whatever, to my dad. So 5.4 is not the ring gauge. Is actually kudos to my dad, 5'4", and with the PM. So that's where the backstory of the 5'4", that's where it comes from.
Oh.
So that's my
that's
little.
Why it's so good. That's why it's so good. There's a lot of spirit and love in that. Yeah.
But that's the story of the bands and getting started, and I had to do it right. So.
Yeah. So as far as TPE, it's a really great show. Like, it's really well attended, I would say, and going as a person, as a consumer, I guess. There were just so many people there, and there were so many cigar places that I discovered that I didn't know of, and there was so much. I think also what I saw probably for you guys on your side is just really that community of cigar manufacturers really working together and complementing each other. And yes, you're all in competition, but then you're not really either, because people smoke all kinds of different things. And just really kind of seeing them making friendships, and people who own lounges and humidors getting to know people who make cigars. And I think that when you do it, I think you'll really find it as an advantage. It's a pretty great show.
You know, I when I first started, I remember someone who I was talking to was like, "Oh, I forgot it was. It was like something to the realm of, oh, you can have this competition." And I'm like, well, again, I'm small, and I don't really see it as competition, because I was that guy who smoked a different cigar every time I went out. So it's not like I can get a consumer that's going to say, I'm only going to smoke Medrano cigars. That's impossible, right? You understand what I'm saying? That's impossible.
Right.
So, and I don't think any manufacturer out there can really say that. And if you can, I mean, man, you're doing something really right?
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think there's anyone. I know I couldn't say that when I was smoking every bunch of different brands. I might frequent a couple certain brands more than some, but I was, for the most part, trying different things every time I went out. I was always trying different cigars every time I went out. I kept journals and logs and taking pictures of every different cigar that I did, just for my own personal thing. So, and I think a lot of real cigar smokers do that. They go out and they try different things. So I to say you're in competition is like, well, you might have a good cigar, but it's hard to say you're in competition with everyone, because everyone sells at some point.
Yeah. But I mean, it was really nice. It seemed like I just saw people really making friends and passing information back and forth, and that was pretty neat. So, and then there's, a lot of people like me with little shows, and then there's bigger media there, and they kind of wander around and get your story. And so, you can, you have a year to come up with like this really cool backdrop.
Yeah, well, I really, trust me, I've been thinking about it, and I kind of have some really cool ideas in mind already. So and the way I want it, it's going to cost. So that's the reason why when I do it, I want to do it right. It's gonna be nice. I just don't like half-assing things. So I'll do it when I'm ready.
I mean, there are some people that have been doing it for years, and so they have, pretty fancy setup and everything. But, then there's some people that, it's more streamlined, and that was okay too. But
no, listen, just being there is an accomplishment in itself. So I wouldn't knock anyone, no matter what they're doing. I mean, just being there and getting out there is amazing, right? So for me, for my person, the way I am, I would just want to do it. I wouldn't be happy if I don't do it the way I want to do it the first time.
Yeah.
So I'll wait and do it right.
Yeah. Well, I am totally enjoying this. So I'm kind of getting that little tartness now, but I can't say that it's fruit. I'm having a hard time with this. Put my finger on flavors, but keep coming back with clove, because It's like it's not pepper. And I think when I smoked the 5.4, I said the same thing. I said it's more cinnamony than pepper.
Right.
But this has not sweet, like sweet, but I'm getting a little sweetness with the spice. So, and I smoked a clove cigarette last night, so I don't know why, but that's what's popping up for me is kind of a clove, and there is a little bit of a sharper note like would be a fruit, but I couldn't tell you what fruit that would be.
How's that burn? How's that ash?
So
how difficult is that on the Lancero?
You know what? I know, right? I don't even usually like Lanceros, but the burn is so good, and the draw. And so I know
Lanceros are hard to. They not many people manufacturers do Lanceros because they're difficult to roll or get them right. And these guys that I have, they just knock it out the park.
So that's one thing I've noticed so this is now the third cigar of yours that I smoked. And that's one thing that's been consistent is even burn, really good draw, great smoke output.
Right.
On all three cigars. And the Connecticut, I liked the Connecticut. Didn't blow my socks off, but I liked it. But the 5.4 in this one, love these two.
5.4 is definitely my favorite. I love all of them. My 5.4 is definitely my favorite. So.
Yeah, it was so good. I sounded like, well, you couldn't join me, so you didn't hear me, but I kind of sounded like an ad or something. You know those infomercials where they're talking about vacuums. Oh my God, I just love it. Whoops, just lost my hash. That's kind of how I sounded. I was like, God, this is so good, but it really was flavorful and delicious and smooth and just kind of a cigar I think you could smoke any time of day, probably any occasion. And I think even somebody who's not a big cigar smoker would have no problem with it.
Right. So smooth, it seems like the running phrase with everyone who smokes my cigar. Smooth. I keep hearing that phrase over.
Yeah.
Smooth, right?
Absolutely. Not creamy, because that's different.
Right. It's smooth. It's pleasant. It's not overbearing. It's not going to choke you. It's not going to leave a bad taste in your back of your throat. It's not going to do any of that.
And this one definitely has a little sweetness, right?
Right. A little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to like Lanceros now. This is delicious.
Listen, I wasn't a Lancero fan until I got that blend and I find myself smoking that.
Tell me about this one, wrapper, binder, filler.
Okay.
The Lancero.
I got like a million bugs around me right now. It's terrible. It's like they see my light and they're attracted to my light.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's dark where you are, right?
Oh, yeah, it's already dark. It's already 8:30. So we got that's a Dominican Nicaraguan.
Okay.
So that's why you like it so much. It's just like the 5.4. The only thing is the binder. The binder is it's an Ecuadorian.
Oh, okay.
And then you got the Habano wrapper.
Okay.
So then there's supposed to this one has the San Andreas wrapper, obviously with the Morgadoro.
Yeah. Which is, I love that wrapper. So that's
I do too.
Probably why I like, yeah. If a cigar has a San Andreas wrapper, I'm just probably gonna like it.
I'm just not crazy about the full body cigars. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't think I've built the tolerance for it, and I don't think I ever will because I've been smoking for a while, and every time I get a bad feeling, like that terrible dizziness and
yeah, and that is no fun. I get that every once in a while. I'm not.
No, not at all. It's not pleasant. Not at all.
Yeah. Oh, it's super good. So do you have plans? Are you just going to be working on what you have now? You have five?
Five.
Okay.
Yep. We have the Toro, Torpedo, the Lancero, the Gordo, and the Gordito.
Okay.
Now,
and this one is the Gordito.
Right. And the Gordo is the Connecticut you had.
Yeah.
So 5 for now. We started off with 2, just the Toro and the Torpedo, the 5.4, and that. And it's funny how the Gordito actually got developed because a friend of mine, he's like, "Hey, I ride motorcycles," and he's like, "I just need a short cigar. Can you make me a Gordito?" And I'm like, he's like, "But I love your 5.4." I'm like, all right. He was like, "Just make me like 20 or 40 or whatever." I'm like, all right, why? So we made them, and I'm like, man, these things look cool. I was like, you know what? I was like, so I was like,
they do look cool. So what is the short cigar have to do with the motorcycle? Does he smoke while he rides?
Right, exactly. So he didn't want something long hanging out there, so he wanted something short.
Okay, interesting. Well, I don't ride motorcycles, so I don't know, but that's what I was thinking. Like, if it's sticking out there in the wind, it might not fare well.
Yeah, he just wanted
up in your lap. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so that's what's nice about it, because it's short, but also because it's a larger ring gauge, it's not going to be that fast.
Right.
So
it's still you can still smoke about almost an hour on that thing.
Okay.
And you still have a lot of flavor in that cigar. So
okay.
Even with the larger ring gauge.
So an hour, so that'll be about 40 minutes for me.
Yeah, no, you're smoking through that Lancero. You're going through that thing.
I'm hoping to get to this one before the hours up. I know I smoke fast. I especially smoke faster when I'm on the show. I don't know why. I'm not nervous, but
you smoke like that at lounges too?
Yeah, I'm a fast smoker.
I take my time.
It's relaxing, but
no, it is. It is. I'm usually I've gone to lounge. I go to lounges all the time, but I've seen people who smoke 2 and 3 cigars at the lounge. And I can't do that for some reason. One cigar lasts me the whole time I'm there, and then I take off. You know, I take one cigar and then I leave.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I became a fast smoker, but yeah, so I usually do, if I go to a lounge, it's going to be 2 or 3 cigars. So then I usually get lighter as I go. Make sure that my 3rd cigar is a little bit lighter, or I probably wouldn't feel very good. So
I can't do that. I don't think I've ever done that. Like I said, I usually go, I smoke a cigar, and then right when the cigar is ending, I'm usually winding down and getting ready to go. So.
God, I cannot believe the smoke output. So nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I those grew on me. The Lanceros definitely grow.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to order those too. Okay, so let's talk about that. If somebody wants to try your cigars, where should they go?
Okay, they can go on our website on MedranoCigars.com.
Okay.
And just place an order. We do have a sample pack. Usually our first tab, there's a sample pack there. I believe it's like $42 or something like that. Okay. And
that's all 5? Is that all 5 of them?
Yes, all 5. That's all 5. And we do have a couple stores, not many, but they're pretty spread out. We have there's 2 in Connecticut, Penthouse Cigars, and
you got my guy in Reno.
Yes, right, Negron, right?
Yep. The Brown Cigar Company. Yeah,
exactly. And then we have I don't know if you've seen Mo Smokes. He has one of those mobile cigar lounges. Mm-hmm. So he's been carrying my line too. So it's not bad. I have all this Datas Cuevas who's been inquiring. I think they are out of Missouri, I believe, or something like that. So he's been inquiring about holding my line. I just sent him a wholesaler sheet like last week. So
yeah.
Well, hopefully.
I just think when people smoke them, they're going to smoke them again. Like I'm truthful on my show. Like, I wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it. But I know a couple of cigars like that. It's like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Ponce cigars. Mm-hmm. When you smoke that cigar, you will. I tell people, if you smoke that cigar, you will smoke it again.
I've seen them. They're making a lot. They're making some noise as of late. I've seen them.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. Like I always tell him, I discovered you first, and I had his cigar and the reason why is I got a hold of him because there's a giant P on his cigar, which is my initial. So I was like, that's my cigar. So I got a hold of him, started smoking it, and then putting it all over my Instagram. And then I noticed all these other girls are starting to show up with it, and I was like, hey, I'm the original G. So anyway. But yeah, there are some cigars like that where I just think, like I would just tell somebody, smoke it once and you'll smoke it again.
That's cool.
Whereas there's other cigars that I like. For example, I'm a Paul Stulak fan and I like his cigars. And I've had people try them and some people love them and some people are just like, it's not for me. So I kind of know that about his cigars. Like his flavor profiles are very complex. And so sometimes people don't like them. But then there are cigars every once in a while that I just think, oh, if somebody smokes that, they'll smoke it again because it's not crazy one way or the other. You know what I mean? It's
right. It's pleasant.
Yeah.
It's pleasant.
Yeah.
You know, like something you could actually just through conversation.
God, it's so nice.
Relax.
It's like it's like an easy ride, kind of. That's the kind of movie I need to pair this with.
So you pair your cigars with movies?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard that before. But what would you pair that one with?
I'm glad that I'm the only person. I think there is somebody else out there who does it. Somebody told me there is somebody else doing it, but my son is a filmmaker and he moved down here. And so film has always just been huge in our family. And he's a person that he told me in the 4th grade he was going to be a film director. And I knew when he was in the 4th grade, he was going to be a film director. Like I knew it wasn't a passing phase. So that he wrote his first screenplay, got all his friends to act in it. I made all the costumes and he shot this Western and, it's horrible, but it's still on YouTube and it has like, I don't know, 10,000 views or something. All these little kids. Anyway, so it's just been a big part of kind of our family life. And he would always, from the time he was very young, he started out by, rather than film, he would watch news. He would watch the news. And people would say, he's so little, how can you let him watch the news with all that horrible stuff? And I'm like, he's not paying attention to what they're saying. He's constantly standing there like, that would have been a lot cooler if they could have taken the shot in the rear view mirror and then show it back there. They could have panned over, that's how he is. And that's how he's always looked at movies. So it makes you look at film that way. And so one day I was just smoking a cigar and watching a movie. And the movie was, I cannot remember what it was, and everybody always asks me. It was like a Fast and Furious movie or something, and I was smoking this really mild cigar, and I was like, this is not the cigar for this movie. It's like I've forgotten about the cigar because the movie is so intense. I'm not aware of what I'm smoking. And so that's when I was like, people pair cigars with alcohol, coffee, beer, all this stuff. I'm like, why not pair it with a movie? Especially most cigars are about an hour and a half and a film is about an hour and a half. So,
makes sense.
Yeah. So it's kind of the mood. It's, like sometimes people try to pair cigars with movies and they'll do it by the name. Like they might pick a movie because this has a night on it. They're going to maybe go with that kind. That's not how I do it. I actually do it by the kind of the mood or the feeling. And this is
a question. What's the movie?
I don't know. I got to think of one, but it's like, is there a movie? Maybe I haven't seen it yet, but it seems like Like a nice ride on a bike or a convertible, kind of across the countryside. This is just a very comfortable cigar.
Easy Rider. Ever seen that old school movie?
No, I haven't, but now I'm going to watch it because I was going to say, I would say that, but I haven't seen it. But
it's an old Harley movie.
Yeah. I could see that. However, they wouldn't probably want to smoke a Lancero, right?
Probably, yeah, probably not. You're right.
Pull over and smoke it and then ride. They got to rest their butt sometime, right?
Yeah. I was part of that life for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, for about 12 years. I was president of a club in Connecticut.
What was the club?
Connecticut's Most Wanted Riders. Connecticut. I was around from 2000. We started in 2007, I believe. I think they're still around. They're still around now. So I left them and handed it over. They're still around.
Yeah. You know, there's something about the sound of bikes, especially Harleys or something. You know, a lot of times I'm on the freeway and, you know, bikes start coming. I'm just like, roll down the window and listen to them go by. And it's pretty cool.
You feel like a little kid when they roll by.
Right? Yeah.
I still get that way.
Yeah.
So when I moved to Florida, I sold my bike, you know, left the club, sold my bike. And I'm not gonna lie, I miss riding. The only thing is too hot down here to ride during the day. Yeah, it's just too hot.
Really?
Yeah, I watch some people ride during the day, and I don't know how they do it. Like 95, 100-degree weather. I don't understand how they do it. It's too hot.
So probably you won't get another bike?
Not right now. I got other things that I need to take care of. Like right now, you know, putting my daughter through college.
Yeah.
You know, a bunch of other stuff. So after my daughter's, she should be graduating in May. Thank God.
Oh, that's great.
She graduates in May.
What's she studying?
Criminal justice.
Oh, nice.
She likes the whole forensic side and.
Oh yeah.
Fingerprints and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a little known fact about me, but I actually have a law enforcement degree.
Nice.
It's just a 2-year degree, but yeah.
That's very cool.
Went through school and had some, graduated in the top 2% of my class. And this was back when out of a class of 180, there was only 2 women. So this was back in the 80s, mid 80s. I'm really aging myself.
Did you put it to use?
No. Turned out that I had an eye. Turns out that your vision could not be worse than 2200 uncorrected. So I wore contacts. And they said without contacts or glasses, you can't be worse than 2200. And one of my eyes had astigmatism and it was 2300. And I didn't find this out until I was going through the hiring process with the police department. And they called me back for my eye exam. And the doctor was like, you have to be able to read like one more line down. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. And I couldn't read it. And he said, he goes, go home, don't wear your contacts, do these eye exercises, come back in a week. So I did, and I came back and I couldn't read it. And then I tried to bribe him. It's like, how much do you want to pass me? And he was like, I can't do it, darling. So that's what the big what if of my life. What if I had done that? And so then it turns out that, you know, I discovered it's like that for corrections, which I didn't want to be a corrections officer anyway, but it's corrections, it's Sheriff's Department, it's FBI, it's CIA, it's the same thing. And back in the mid 80s, there wasn't really LASIK. It was called radial keratotomy. And it was 50-50. It was real iffy. And I just thought, well, I'm not going to mess with my eyes.
Not at all.
So I didn't do it.
Not in the 80s.
I became a mom, and then that was very fulfilling. So.
One kid?
Yeah, one son. He's 25 now.
My daughter's 21.
Well, that's pretty cool. So you guys must be really close. Does she
Yeah,
smoke cigars?
No, she doesn't, because she's So my daughter's even though she hasn't had an attack, she in Connecticut she was an asthmatic.
Oh, okay.
So she, but I guess the air quality up north is terrible. So ever since she's been down in Florida for like, I want to say she's been down here. She's 21, so like almost 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
She's been down here. I just got here a year ago, so I've only been here in Florida for a year and a half actually. She hasn't had an asthma attack, which
Oh,
the air quality is helping her out. Breathing, the allergies, everything is gone. So she doesn't smoke. She sees dad smoke. And I don't push her to smoke. I mean, if she
yeah.
ever wants to do it, you know, we just got her first tattoo not too long ago. So
Oh, that's fun.
we got it together actually. We got the same thing. So her and I got
Oh,
we got my dad's initial signature.
oh,
So I got her on my wrist. She got her on my first tattoo. So,
that's nice.
yeah, she is definitely my little best friend. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. So, how long have you been in Florida? Just since she's been going to school?
No, I came. I've officially been here since January of last year. So yeah, almost a year, over a year and a half now. So January of last year. So,
Okay.
so yeah, 2020. I came right in the pandemic. Started the pandemic. I came down here.
Well, you're in a good place for doing cigars, I guess. It's kind of the cigar capital of the country, I would say. Next to Texas, probably Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a cigar, and that's another thing too. So you come down here, and I was into cigars, and go to like Calle Ocho, and there was like every corner there's a cigar shop and cigar rollers on every corner. It's like
Yeah.
you get inspired from actually watching all this.
Yeah. I have it on my list. I really want to make a trip down there and just go around to the lounges and.
The lounges are really cool. I mean, there are definitely some really nice lounges out here.
Yeah.
I tend to favor one for some reason. It just the vibe there is just really cool. The one on Weston Smoke on the Water. The vibe there is really, really cool.
Yeah. I think that happens for a lot of people. You kind of get what I call my home lounge, and it's just like the place that you feel most comfortable. And I go around to a lot of lounges, but I definitely have my favorites. So
yeah, that's definitely my favorite right now. So we've been to been to one on South Beach, Espinosa, Espanola, and been to a bunch of them. One in Colbert, the Monte Cristo, Casa Monte Cristo. It's nice. But just the vibe is just different. The place is gorgeous, but the vibe doesn't. I don't know.
It's interesting how lounges all have their own little personality. Just depending on who's running it, who the customers are, what's in their humidor. They just kind of have a different feel.
Yeah, definitely different clientele in Boca. I tell you that. It's just more upscale.
Okay.
Different kind of vibe, I don't know. It wasn't. I didn't feel comfortable enough there. So I was like, it's nice, beautiful place. I was like, it's not really my scene. So Plus the music was not really to my taste either. So I was like, it's cool, but Weston is like a really cool, down to earth vibe. Like it's a really, and they don't play like new music. They don't play super old music. It's like right in the middle of good music. Yeah. And there's sports, there's movies, music, there's an indoor and outdoor, so they have the outdoors always.
Oh yeah, that's always nice, I think.
So it's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So, that's a nice place. That thing is partially owned by Jason Taylor from the
okay.
From the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But he's every once in a while you see him, you see a bunch of football players there.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool. I usually go there on Saturdays. I think this Saturday I probably won't get there because I have to go to a party. But yeah, I'm usually there on Saturdays.
Yeah, lounges are really I don't know. I think we've had here in Southern California, I know of 3 that opened up during the pandemic, and they're really nice. They're really paying attention to what's going on. It's because I always used to say, God, these lounges are like some dude's basement, you know. I don't like it.
Yeah, you don't want that. There's a really nice one if you come for it. There's one in Daytona. So when my daughter started, when she first came to Florida, she went to Embry-Riddle in Daytona Beach. Because how kids, some kids go to school and they change their major, and she did that her first year. She went to Embry-Riddle. She was a science major, so her first year was in Embry-Riddle, so I would come and visit her all the time, and of course I had to find the local lounge, and I found this place called I think it's called Don Kiki's in Daytona.
Oh yeah,
beautiful place. That place is amazing. I'm not gonna lie, it's huge.
Yeah,
it's huge. Like they have a downstairs and they have an upstairs that looks down. It's a gorgeous lounge.
Yeah,
so every time I go, that's nice.
That's Karen Berger. That Karen Berger was Don Kiki's wife. And when he passed away, she took over, and she has her own line too. The K by.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Karen, yeah. So I met her for the first time at PCA, the last show that was at Vegas. So I was able to meet her and try some of her sticks, and there's some good ones down there. I don't know where. There's someone who has that one that's like an Arturo Fuente homage called the Grand Cathedral.
Oh, that's giant. The lady, I forgot her name. That's in Tampa.
Tampa. Okay.
Yeah. That thing is massive too. It looks massive. I haven't been there yet, but it looks amazing.
It looks
did an amazing job. She did an amazing job with that, that place.
Yeah. And I was watching on Instagram too. She was really involved in it. She was down there every day. And
if I'm not mistaken, she was saying that that's not her first lounge. She had one in California. I was somewhere on the West Coast.
Like San Diego area.
Right.
Yeah. And then she's moved.
She's definitely connected and she knows her stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I mean, that's why I want to go down there, just see all these people visiting and all these cool lounges, and it would just be fun to go down there. And
also in Tampa, I believe you have the Lumen Factory over there too. You get to see that. So it's not bad. It's really not bad.
I was looking at some of the comments. Oh, Angela Yu, that's her name, from Grand Cathedral. Right. Yeah. And then somebody on here said Karen Berger's joint. Yep. That's what Randy said. And somebody I was going to say here before, they just joined and they said hello from, where'd it go? South Texas. Hello. Oh, yeah. So I have a friend who's on here. He would like to review some Medrano cigars, too. He has a show called Dad's Smoking Cigars. He's been on for quite a while. And sponsored by Casa Cuevas Cigars.
Awesome.
But he smokes all different ones, but he does great reviews.
Someone shoot me a DM.
Okay.
Go on the Medrano Cigars page and he's on social media at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
he's got his shows on YouTube and he goes live on Instagram and he does all kinds of things. So yeah. He's a great reviewer. He has a great show.
I've been fortunate and I'm grateful that my reviews, anyone who's reviewed my cigar there's been positive feedback,
Yeah. So. Well, and
I'm open for criticism too. I get it too, so I'm okay with that. It's not like I'm gonna be like all crazy hurt about around it. It's just I'm okay with it. So I'm okay with it.
And I've never really needed to say anything bad about cigars because, for one, if the flavor profile is not mine, that doesn't mean it's not good. It's just not my flavor profile. So really about the only thing you could talk about is if burn isn't consistent. And And that's hard to do with one cigar too. So I don't like to say, I like to say, well, there's a problem with this one cigar, but
right,
that doesn't mean anything either. I mean,
right, because we have to remember these are hand rolled.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I had a really nice cigar that I was smoking on a show like this, and I looked down at it. The end I was smoking, there was something fuzzy and white, and I reached in there and I pulled it out, and it was like all this sticky stuff from a cocoon where there must have had been a worm. So can you imagine that? And the guy who made the cigar was mortified, and I was like, I mean,
that's
all you can do is say, you can't help that. Somehow that little thing was inside one of the leaves and nobody caught it, and whatever. Needless to say, I did not finish smoking it. I was like,
I don't blame you. Like, this is one cigar lounge or shop that I've gone to a couple times, and I won't say the name. Down here in South Florida, it's a small shop, and every time I try to go get like on lunch, if I don't have one of my sticks, I'll go and try to grab a stick. It's been like 3 different times I've gone, and it's like almost every cigar he has in the shop has beetles, has holes in the cigars. And I'm like, and I gotta point them out every time I go. I'm like, look at this. I'm like, he must have an infestation of those beetles. I'm like,
that's so hard to get rid of. He will probably have to get rid of all the cigars in that humidor.
It's terrible. I've gone there 3 times, and all 3 times I've found tons of cigars with holes in them. I'm like, man.
Oh yeah. And he's got to have other people telling him as well. That's not good.
What's not good is every time I go, I see a bunch of people sitting outside in his chairs smoking cigars. So I don't know if they noticed it.
Wow.
So there's never a shortage of people smoking there. I tell you that. There's always people outside smoking. I'm like,
interesting.
Man, it must like the taste of those beetles, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know.
A little protein with their plants. Well, I've got this down almost to the end, and it's quite good. So you know what? I'm going to. I loved that one, the 5-4 in the Lancero. Anyway, I'm going to light this one really quick because I'm really curious to. Let's just give it a try. God, I love these bands.
And it's another reason why I try to do quality bands, just for the simple fact that I am small. I am, not really known out there. So at least when you pick it up, you can say, okay, I don't know who he is, but this is some cool
quality
stuff,
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I noticed. Wow, I just broke that match. That's what I noticed immediately when I opened up the package you sent me. I was just like, oh my gosh, these are beautiful. So hopefully the wind won't. Ooh, this is going to be good. Should have done a cold draw, darn it. Too windy. Okay, what's this one? Tell me the wrapper and the.
So that is the exact same blend, just in a larger gauge as the 5-4. So you have the Nicaraguan, Dominican, the Honduras, and then San Andreas. Just in larger gauge, so you get a little bit more smoke out input.
Oh my gosh. Okay, everybody who's watching or who watches this, you need to try these cigars. Like, this is crazy. I can't believe. So did your dad get you smoking? Did he smoke cigars?
Oh, my father smoked, but it wasn't cigars.
Oh, okay.
No, and I was never got into anything illegal, so I picked up cigars. That was my. I never smoked cigarettes. I never smoked weed. So cigars was always, my thing.
That's me
and again,
too.
I picked up cigars just to kind of keep me doing something else other than partying and doing all this other stuff.
Right. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious. And why can't I get this one little edge lit?
Big ring gauge. Got to get it all around.
Yeah. Come on, baby. Oh, God, that's so tasty. Yeah, there's that little peppery. God, the smoke is just pouring off of it.
Yeah. That's a good lunch break cigar. You want something short. Just...
It's so good. It really is so good.
Yeah. Same blend.
Okay, I'm going to show everybody again. See, Medrano. MedranoCigars.com, right?
Yes, MedranoCigars.com. Medrano.
And I would recommend, the sample pack is always a really great way to go because although the Connecticut is not my favorite, it might be some other people's favorite.
Right.
So.
Now, there are some people who strictly favor Connecticut's for some reason. So.
Yeah, this has got a little bit of a bite.
Right, and you'll get more of it just for the fact that it being shorter, so you'll get a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I'm so impressed. They've just all been delicious.
Thank you.
This one smells really good too. I can. For people who don't like cigar smoke, like my neighbor.
You're probably pissing them off today, huh?
Yeah, every Thursday, 5 o'clock. Just shut your windows because it's going to happen. Yeah.
No, so I took a lot of that into consideration. The smoke output, the burn, the oiliness of the cigar, which is cool. If you see it burn, you see the oils.
Yeah.
And of course, it smells. It's got to smell. It's got to smell good. You don't want something around you that's going to stink.
This one is really dark too. This would be like an Oscuro, wouldn't you say? In color.
It's the same. It's the same Maduro wrapper. So.
It looks darker. Is the 5.4 that dark?
Yeah, this is the 5. Yeah, it's that
okay.
Dark. I got the light shining on it, but yeah.
I think that's why I expected it to be really strong, but it was just delicious.
So everyone does that. Like I even had a friend who smoked cigars, and he was afraid of smoking my cigar. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to get sick." I'm like, "Dude, just smoke it." I'm like, "Just smoke." And even I had a guy up north, and I literally gave him a cigar, and he just sat in this humidor for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, "You smoking?" He's like, "No, I'm kind of afraid." I'm like, "Dude, just smoke it." So when he smoked it, he was like, "Okay, I didn't know." He was like, he bought like a box of 20. He was like, "I need 20." I'm like, I told you. I was like, just smoke it. I'm like, I personally don't like full body cigars. So I wouldn't tell you to smoke something like that if
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not setting out to make somebody feel sick.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, a friend of mine signed on who does not smoke cigars, Greg. Hi, Greg. Look, you're just going to have to get into these cigars, and we got just the perfect cigar for you to be your first cigar. I'll give him the 5.4.
There you go.
I'm going to give it to him for Christmas and make him smoke it.
5.4 is it's a good, smooth introduction. I wouldn't say introductory, but you won't get that bitter taste, and like some cigars will give you.
Yeah.
And especially if someone who hasn't smoked, that might throw you off. That might throw you off from smoking again.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to start kind of mild, and I like this. I like this ring gauge though.
60.
Yeah, I like a bigger ring gauge. That's why I never really kind of like Lanceros, but you know, they're really going to be more flavorful, and they seem kind of, I don't know.
They're fancy, but the flavor,
bougie.
they're fancy. But it's cool because, like I said, you get the longer longer stick. You get the cool smokes. You get more of that flavor profile.
Yeah.
Without all that heat, you actually get to taste the tobacco.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about Lanceros.
Yeah.
Or if you smoke
so what about a box? Oh yeah. So a box press is my favorite. Would you ever consider making a box press? I know they're kind of hard.
I was thinking about it. I mean, my guys can make it. I don't want to do a box press with the same blend. So I gotta
okay.
figure out something different for the box press. So it's something that I like. So I tried at one point playing around with it, and I didn't like the way it came out. So I just stopped.
Yeah.
Left it alone. But I do have to, because you're not the only one. I've been getting a couple requests for box press. So
yeah.
Eventually, I will.
It's hard though. The majority of people don't like a box press, and people either like it or they don't. It seems like.
I don't mind it. I kind of like different shaped cigars, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. It's just as long as the cigar is good. Like you ever had those what you call it? What's that box press that's really strong? I have it like the tip of my tongue. Damn it. It's gonna mess with me now. Shit.
I know. See now, drawing a blank. So Kyle said, "I love a good box press." I know.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Me too.
I mean, a lot of people do, and like I said, I don't even mind it. I like any shape cigars. I'll be honest. To tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Any shape, any size cigars. As long as it's good, I don't mind. I don't care what size or shape it is. So,
yeah. Well, there's somebody on here saying hi from Kentucky.
Hey,
so that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Kentucky, Texas. I don't know if my friend is still on from Illinois. It's always fun. So, yeah, we're spreading your name around the country. Well, I just have been really impressed. They're beautiful. The construction is beautiful. And for those of you who maybe weren't on before and just joined, just the draw and the amount of smoke is what I noticed right away. It's just delicious. And somebody on here said they like, so one of my friends said a box press. Cigar Adventure said a box press San Andreas is the best. I would have to agree with that because those are the two things I like. So if you do a box press, you have to have a San Andreas wrapper. Yeah, I have to say that I jump on that if I see that combination. So, and then Lee said hello from NH. Is that New Hampshire?
New Hampshire, yeah.
Wow, cool. Thank you for joining. That's awesome.
New Hampshire.
Yeah. That's great.
Again,
well, I'm going to have to say, what?
They're getting cold up there in New Hampshire yet?
Yeah, I don't know. He has to tell us. It's been stormy. Hasn't the East Coast has had weird weather, right?
Yeah, they've gotten all the Florida tornadoes. I mean, hurricanes.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, just right up the East Coast. And yeah. Well, I'm going to say then that since I haven't seen Easy Rider, I'm going to go with Easy Rider with the Lancero. This one I haven't smoked enough to. I'll have to post something on Instagram what I would pair this one with because I'll finish it off camera. But the Lancero, I'll go with Easy Rider now. I get to watch it. Except now I don't have the cigar to watch it. Maybe I'll order it and then wait.
It's an old school flip.
Yeah. Somebody big is in it too, right? Is it
So you have a lot of Hell's Angels are in that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it Peter Fonda?
I'm from the Hells Angels.
No, in Easy Rider.
No, it's I can't remember his name, but I know that was the HA's. If I'm not mistaken, you can quote me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, their first Hells Angels film they made, they were in a movie. They were part of.
Okay.
That's how old it is. That movie's old.
Yeah. Are they even around? Are they still around?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yes, they are. Very strong.
Like new generations.
Yeah. It's always. They will never go away. Some motorcycle clubs will last forever.
Yeah.
And that's one of them.
Like a brotherhood.
It is. It really is. I enjoyed my time in that lifestyle. It was actually pretty cool. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So this guy Lee said, yes, it is Peter Fonda. I think he plays the lead role in that movie. And he said, not really. It's not really cold in New Hampshire.
No, not cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was from Connecticut, so not too far from there. It was always,
oh, and a really old friend of, well, not an old friend. I don't mean he's old. I mean a longtime friend of my son's, who's a cigar smoker. Per Michael is on here. He said, I like the Romeo and Juliet San Andreas short Magnum. That's pretty specific.
It is.
Per Michael, you just like cigars. I know you. He'll smoke cigars like crazy. He'll have like 4 in one night. No problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I mean, if you can, by all means. Me personally, I just couldn't do it. That's you're talking 4 cigars. You're looking like 4 hours.
Right?
Yeah.
He's been here at parties we've had in the backyard, and it's like he's got a cigar in his mouth all night long. So.
I couldn't do that. Hey, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Me personally, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, this is great. I really appreciate you sending me the cigars.
And I appreciate the kind words and the great review.
I'm so impressed. It's just always, and I, like over the last year, I've had a couple small boutique makers send me cigars, and there really hasn't been one that's not good. I mean, I think people are, I feel like especially with boutique cigars, they're really putting their passion into it, and they do everything they can to get it right. They're not just pumping out cigars. And I think that the passion of that small, a small company or one person doing it is kind of shows in the cigar.
No, you're right, and it's true. And a lot of small shops or small boutique brands, they are doing it because they're the ones smoking it, and they understand that they're not a big manufacturer, so they have to stand out, or at least, they can't be small and put out a product that no one likes, right?
That's right, because then it just wouldn't last. So
right,
yeah, and it's really kind of the heyday of the boutique cigar. There's just so many people, and it's so nice. It's just so nice to have. I just think depending on what you're doing and what the occasion is, you're gonna, you might smoke a certain cigar over another, and there's some cigars that are good in the morning with coffee, and then there's really some that are really good after a big steak dinner. That's what if I'm gonna smoke a stronger cigar, I usually do it after a meal, and then I make myself not smoke as fast, and I'm just more careful. But
that's cool. No, I mean, I love the fact that there's so many brands and so many different cigars. I try not to look at things as competition, because it's hard to compete when you come on. I mean, like you spoke about earlier, you can't. It's not a competition when people are smoking so many different cigars. So
yeah.
Like, unless I could say, okay, everyone in South Florida is only smoking Medrano cigars. So that's my goal. That's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. So that's not gonna happen. But if I can get a certain people who like my cigars who can repeat smoking my cigars occasionally, then I'm okay with that.
Well, it'd be great if you could get them into California, but I don't know. We're a little bit tough with all the taxes and all the BS.
I heard.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I really want to help people. Like I'd love to take cigars in places and say, hey, let's get them in here. But it's not always lucrative, I guess. But
yeah, I heard about the taxes out there.
Yeah. And then I just saw on Instagram, I think there's a senator in Illinois who's trying to pass a tax hike on cigars. So they're just kind of under attack. I know. And I have this conversation with people all the time, and I just say you cannot put cigars into the same category as cigarettes.
Right.
It's totally different. The health risks are completely different, way lower. And these are organic. Yes. It's not full of I don't know that the plants are organic. They might spray them, but I mean organic in that it's organic materials
and you have all the chemicals that cigarettes have.
Right. And the chemicals in the filter and
right.
Yeah.
And you're not, for the most part, not inhaling it for the most part.
Exactly.
So yeah, in that respect, it's definitely a lot better. Than smoking cigarettes. So.
Yeah, and I totally researched it before I started smoking cigars because I've had cancer. And people were like, "How can you smoke cigars and you've had cancer?" And I'm like, "Really? It's safer than you drinking alcohol."
Definitely.
So, yeah, I gotta have some vice. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, this is mine too. So.
And okay, so maybe there would be some health risk, but then there's the health benefits of, I mean, you know how it is, like if you've had a long day and you come home and you sit down and you start smoking a cigar, you can just feel it, just the stress. Right. Like
it's relaxing.
Absolutely.
It's relaxing. It's a lifestyle. It's something you want to do to unwind, Yeah. I totally agree. I do it all the time. I think every cigar smoker does it. That's why they do it. So they just sit back and zone out. And smoke a cigar, just unwind, get on de-stress.
Yeah, so. I know, it's so nice. It's just relaxing and nice, and what a great
thing when you do with a good cigar too. Because if you have a terrible cigar, it's a terrible experience.
Ooh, well, I just don't put up with them. If it's terrible, I just put it out.
I'm not gonna lie. I tried fighting through a couple bad cigars, but
yeah, I've only ever smoked one cigar where I just said, "Oh dear God, this is trash," and it was, and it's like a really good cigar that everybody likes, or a lot of people like. It was Don Pepin Original. The blue label. I just was like, this is so horrible. And I've only ever had one, and so I really should probably try it again. Like maybe there was something wrong with that one I had. I don't know, but it just was so bad. I was just like, nope. So, and I have been known to put out a cigar if it's got a really tight draw and I just can't get the smoke. I'm not going to work at it, It's like if it's too tough, done. So it makes me kind of angry.
Yeah, I've fought through a couple bad cigars. I'm not gonna lie. But,
yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate again your platform.
Absolutely.
I'm super grateful for what you're doing, and just thank you. Thank you. For
it's fun. I mean, that's what I like to do is try new cigars and put the information out there and do reviews on my Instagram and. So yeah. So I'm glad you came.
So enjoy that gordito.
I will, and then I'm gonna order that 5-4. Oh my goodness, we're gonna order the 5-4. Like a box.
Yes.
That's my friend who said they smell good. She hasn't got to try one yet. So
Yeah, but it smells good.
this one is really similar to it. It's just a different shape. And it's just as delicious. So yeah. Anyway, we've had lots of fun.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I will say goodbye for now. And hopefully I'll see you out at TPE, or if I come out to Florida, I'll go to that lounge that you love.
Yes, definitely. Keep in touch.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
All right. Have a good night.
Okay. Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Cody. Okay. So, I know, because it's like the 5.4, but it's the little Gordito, but it's basically the same blend. But because of its shape, it tastes slightly different, but it's same filler and everything. Super good. And we had a bunch of fun people join us from all around the country. People just said hi, and we talked about, I picked the movie Easy Rider to go with that Lancero that I smoked. So we talked about that. It was really fun. I had some new people on here who are friends who tuned in and watched my show. Love it. And then I just wanted to say to all of you who are watching, who are in the Southern California area, tomorrow night I'm hosting, I'm co-hosting because there's another hostess, co-hosting a event at Bad Ash Cigar Lounge, which is on Ventura Boulevard in Woodland Hills. Beautiful lounge, beautiful back patio. It's $20 to get in. They're giving you a Bella Artes cigar, which is a great cigar, and they're grilling. So you can have food, you can sit around. I'm going to be there just shooting the shit, smoking cigars, and doing all that fun stuff. So fun to have you guys come out. Oh, it's at 6 o'clock. Bad Ash Cigar Lounge. Okay. All right. So I cannot tell you who. I usually say who's going to be on the show next week. I don't know exactly. I was actually going to ask maybe Cigar Adventure if he's still on here, if he would come on next week, because I've been wanting to have him on. So I won't tell you his story unless he agrees to come on. So you'll just have to be surprised. I will put on my Instagram who it's going to be once I figure it out. And so I hope to see you next week. So like I always say, be kind, keep chasing your stars.